Here are some things to look for, leading up to or after a discard, to indicate that the narcissist may be finished with you. For now. However, it's important to realize that a narcissist is never truly done with you. To understand why, check out my previous video. 1. You're not providing enough supply. In the narcissist's world, they are the central point in which everything revolves around. The aim of their initial love bombing is to make you fall for them under false pretenses, then hook you into their web. Next, they'll work to subtly program you into believing their false reality, which dictates that everything must be about them. You are a mere servant and nothing more. If the narcissist feels that they're not getting enough supply from you, they won't stick around for that. Maybe you've got a demanding career, which they loved at first because your success made them look good. But before long, they're chastising you for working too hard, and not paying enough attention to them. It might be that as the kids are getting older, you're busy building your own life back with work, hobbies and friends. The narcissist will resent you for gaining independence, and not giving them enough supply, so they'll go looking elsewhere for it. Another example is where you begin to call the narcissist out on their behavior, and grow in your own strength, not putting up with their BS anymore. If their manipulations fail to work on you and they aren't getting the supply that they expect, that's one of the clear signs a narcissist is done with you. 2. They ghost you. If the narcissist has suddenly gone AWOL, is not even bothering to return messages or phone calls, or they haven't come home, they may be finished with you. Odds are, they've already replaced you with new supply, so expending any energy on you is a complete waste of time to them. If this is the case, the narcissist will make sure not to give you any closure, for a few reasons. Firstly, they want to keep the door ajar for future entry. Secondly, they refuse to take accountability for their actions. 3. They ignore you. When a narcissist is finished with you, they will not even have the energy or inclination to talk, manipulate or resent you. You're as good as dead to them, so they'll just flat out ignore you as though you don't even exist. If you try to talk to them, you'll be hit with complete indifference. They might be there in body, but they're not there mentally anymore. By this point, the narcissist is just biding their time, until the next source of supply is secure enough so that they can leave you. And since you're a mere peasant, sitting so far beneath the narcissist, they will no longer grace you with their royal time or attention. This also grants them narcissistic supply, because they'll know that your nervous system is on tenterhooks, as they withhold from you. It's another way to control you and make them feel powerful. This is how they instill the trauma bond in the first place. Then when they do leave you, they'll still be able to gain supply from you remotely. As you ruminate and obsess over what the narcissist has done, and by not having any closure, you'll still be feeding them energy on a psychic level. 4. Love bombing and hoovering become obsolete. The narcissist's abuse cycle goes like this. Firstly, they love bomb you by making you feel amazing, and pretend to be caring, loving and attentive. Then something will happen, which will trigger the narcissist. With the click of a finger, they'll flick to the devaluation phase. This is filled with belittling, punishment, criticisms and chipping away at your self-worth, independence and confidence. Thirdly is the discard stage. Basically, the narcissist will ignore you and cut you out like a piece of trash. Finally, if the narcissist wants to pull you back into their web, they'll hoover you. This includes more idealization and false flattery, to make you fall for them and trust them all over again. One of the more obvious signs a narcissist is done with you, is when the love bombing and hoovering stages become obsolete. If you're stuck in the devaluation or discard phase, it's safe to say that the narcissist is finished with you, and no longer benefits from wearing their mask around you anymore. You're now seeing who they truly are underneath the false charade, which is a person who's filled with contempt, nastiness, disrespect and self-loathing. Take this opportunity to run far away and never look back. 5. They'll reinvent themselves. By this point, you know the narcissist as well as you can. You know their habits, when they come and go and how they like to dress. If you notice the narcissist is suddenly getting their hair done, buying new clothes and reinventing themselves, this may be a sign that the narcissist is done with you. When they've locked in supply, they can get lazy and complacent with their appearances. They're comfortable and entitled because they have you secured, and don't think you're going anywhere. However, when they're on the hunt for new prey, they'll want to be looking their best, and presenting their best false self to potential new supply. Another telltale sign is when you notice them coming and going at different times, being out longer than usual, and just general differences in behavior. 6. They replace you. If the narcissist has replaced you with a new supply, it's one of the clear signs that they're done with you. Once a narcissist finds someone who they think is much more beneficial to them, they won't hesitate to drop you like a hot potato. The new person will have at least one thing going for them, that the narcissist plans on using them for. For them, it always comes down to attention and resources, whether that be directly or by association. For example, wealth, attractiveness, success, influence, etc. This can be devastating if you didn't see it coming, especially if it was just weeks ago that they were declaring their undying love to you. I've heard of stories where narcissists propose to, or marry their partner, then leave them a month later for someone else. It's extremely triggering to see the narcissist move on with someone else so quickly, while you're left breaking into a million pieces. I know this firsthand after my narcissist ex moved on just 2 months after our 20-year marriage. It's imperative for you to block the narcissist at this point, which will help to eliminate the triggers, so you can get stuck into your healing work. While it may seem that the new supply is getting a better version of the narcissist, I can tell you wholeheartedly that they are not. The only improved aspect they'll experience is that the narcissist has learnt how to manipulate even harder. 7. They accuse you of cheating. Narcissists are masterful blame shifters. Have you ever started out having a regular conversation with a narcissist, then before you know it you're caught up in an argument, and they're blaming you for the very things that they are doing? The twisted thing about blaming you for everything is that the narcissist often actually believes it. Their false self simply cannot accept any fault or responsibility for anything, therefore their ego lines you up, and dumps all of the disowned stuff onto you. Now you are the cause of the problems, and you must be punished for it. Often, narcissists will dob themselves in, by accusing you of what they are already doing, or are about to do. They cannot process the guilt, or any other hard feelings that might go with their behavior, so they project them onto you instead. So, if a narcissist accuses you of cheating, it might be time to look a bit further at their behavior, and at what they are not saying. There's also a big possibility that they're setting you up to take the fall, by creating a public storyline of you cheating on them. Then they will be able to walk away as the poor victim, and destroy you in the process. 8. They engage in affairs. Sometimes narcissists will have one or many affairs throughout your relationship with them. Unfortunately, they play such a good role, that you might not find out until years later, which is utterly devastating. Affairs are a big sign a narcissist is done with you. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll leave you. They like to have their cake and eat it too. So, while they're bouncing around from one source of supply to the next, you're at home taking care of the kids and the house, or whatever your role is to them. The benefit to the narcissist is that their image gets to remain intact as the family person, while they're off getting a feed elsewhere. If you eventually find out about the affair and confront them about it, they might outright deny it, and make you out to be the crazy one. Or they might literally just grab their keys and leave, never to be seen again, because they don't want to stick around for accountability. 9. They gaslight you. When a narcissist is finished with you, they will want to control your memories, in order to control what you tell other people about them or the relationship. This is proof that the narcissist knows their behavior is abusive, since they're working so hard to hide that information from other people. After all, keeping their public image intact is way more important to them than how they've treated you. So, they will work to control the storyline, by gaslighting you and altering your memory of events. The best thing to do is avoid all conversations with the narcissist. Learn how to grey rock, which is where you be as dull and boring as a grey rock, so that they lose interest. Only reply to them with simple one-word answers and do not engage. Remember, with a narcissist, all reactions, good or bad, feed them your life force energy. So, the best way to stop feeding them is to cut your supply and be boring. Then they'll have no choice but to move on to a new victim. Lastly, 10. They destroy you publicly. One of the final big signs a narcissist is done with you is when they completely destroy your name and reputation on a public scale. Narcissists are control freaks, and that extends out to controlling what other people think and say about them. They could not care less about truth, it's all about image and perception. As long as they appear to be the innocent amazing ones, that's all they need, to feed their insatiable desire for admiration and attention. In the narcissist's competitive world, for there to be a winner, there must always be a loser. In other words, for them to come off as either the hero or the victim, you need to be the perpetrator. In the delusional reality, they are never wrong, and everything that happened was all your fault. If they cheated, it's because you didn't give them enough attention. If they hit you, it's because you made them do it. If they bled you dry financially, leaving you and the kids with nothing, it's because they earned more of the money and are completely entitled to it. However, for their version of events to be real in their false reality, they need confirmation from the outside world to actually make it so. What they need to hear from other people is that, yes, it's all real, and, yes, you're right. So, the narcissist will embark on a smear campaign, painting you in a way that confirms their agenda and justifies their behavior. Narcissist smear campaigns can be one of the most soul-crushing experiences to have to go through. They'll turn your own friends and family against you, and enlist flying monkeys to enact their dirty work. This is when it's extremely important to keep your support circle small, block the narcissist and anyone who sides with them, and focus on your healing. For more information on narcissism, head to unmaskingthenarc.com.